we weren't even married for a year. Our 1-year anniversary was November 18th, and Steve had passed away 2 weeks just before that. Steve and I got married November 18th. It was just a great day having our family and friends there, and we moved to a townhouse in Prior Lake and just really got to start our life together. We were married for about 11 and a half months, and I went to Bible study at my sister's house, and Steve called me and just said that he wasn't feeling well and that he was going to try to go to bed early that night. And when I got home, he was in bed like he said he was going to be, but he was still awake. And I had asked him, honey, do you need anything? Can I go get you something? And he's just like, no, like, babe, I'll just go to bed. Like, I'll be fine. That night I prayed over him, and I just said, like, Lord, just continue to be just a driving force in Steve's life and help him to be that leader that you need him to be, and just help him to grow into the man that you created him to be, God. And just, come into his body, and I'm just praying healing over him, God, that he doesn't have to feel this pain, and just thank you for blessing me with him. The next thing I knew, his alarm was going off, and it was 5 a.m, and I didn't hear the shower running, which usually I would. And I looked into the hallway, and the light in the bathroom was on. So I went in there, and Steve was in there, and he was on his knees, hunched over the toilet, and my first thought was, he's throwing up, he wasn't feeling well, and I shook him and was like, Steve, like, honey, are you okay? Are you okay? And he didn't respond to me, and I shook him again, and just this panic like rushed through my body, like he's not responding to me. And I called 911, and the first responders arrived and started to help him. And I was standing there talking with one of the other first responders just about the timeline of the events, and one of the first responders came out and told me, like, ma'am, like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your husband's not revivable. And immediately I lost it. Like, I fell to my knees and I was wailing and screaming and no, like, not my husband, not me, just absolutely lost it. From that day forward, my life was never the same.
I'm Pastor Rob Ketterling, lead pastor of River Valley Church, and on behalf of the family, I want to express their thanks that you're here to remember the life of Steve Toms.
I know for all of us, we're wondering why this happened. This doesn't make sense. He was so healthy, so strong, so full of life. Why, God? I can tell you this: God's plan is always better than ours.
For me, like, the lowest part for me wasn't like the day that he passed away, because I feel like the world is just spinning so fast, and the world continues to move on whether you're ready for it or not. And I feel like it hit me more so months later, when the dust kind of had settled, and everyone else is back to what is their normal in life. And I was trying to navigate my way through this, what people call the new normal, and figuring out how to function. And I didn't have my best friend there every day, and what you think is going to be so constant, having a loving spouse your whole way through in life, when that's no longer there, it's like you need to have something stronger to cling to. One of the verses that I really held on to was Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you, and plans to give you a hope and a future. And that verse just really tells me that God is going to provide, like, no matter what situation I go through, no matter how I feel about the situation, that He always has a greater plan than what I can see. God has just given me total freedom and peace. That just continues to be how I approach life. I just try to keep a godly perspective on everything. If it's something that I don't like or it was unexpected, like, I know that God has a bigger plan, and He's standing up above, looking down, and He has this blueprint, and God's will for my life is my best case scenario. My name is Ashley Toms, and I'm a Hope 360 storyteller. If you or someone you know could find comfort in my story, or if you need some inspiration, go to my page on hope360.org.